Ultimate Mashup, Bell Biv Devo, will not be seen at this time. For now, we present something that you can really hang your hat on. This is GTV. No registration required. Something I like to do to pass the time is searching through databases of patents and trademarks. What? You think I sit next to a giant game wall all day? Well, I don't. I'm always busy reading and researching, sometimes for a new episode and sometimes just for myself, to learn something new that's been out there the whole time, just waiting to be discovered. Remember the Sharp Famicom oven? Hey look, Namco once held a patent on minigames in a loading screen. Then there are those weird things that never came to pass. The quality of life sensor, remember that? Oh, how could we not? Or how about these weird Apple designs? Who knows what they were supposed to be? Ah, hey, look! Trademark scams! You know, taking something nearly identical to an existing brand, but just different enough to not get sued out of existence. Maybe. Hey, how about this one? Nintendo? Of course we know what they mean. I wonder what they were trying to do with that. Hey, this says Nintendo was trademarked by Nintendo. What is going on here? Let's break it all down and leave you walking away with a funny little story you won't hear anywhere else. Thanks for watching this episode of GTV. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by the Nintendo Answering System. We all love technology, and we love nostalgia, right? Put the two together and you have a great little product. Novelty answering machine messages set to classic NES game music. Look at the physical media. Smell the packaging, if you're so inclined. And enjoy the 36-page manual that you can read under the covers at night. When you put this Nintendo tape into your newfangled answering machine, you're all set to let everyone know that you are a true gamer. And that you can't answer the telephone. The Nintendo Answering System features 26 classic themes, including Super Mario Bros.
Hi there, dude. I'm out right now, but please leave me a message at the
Legend of Zelda.
Hi, I'm out of the house right now. I cannot come to the phone. Please leave your name and number and I'll get back to you.
Punch-Out.
I'm sorry, I just missed your call. Leave a message at the beep.
And many more. How can you order the NAS? Internet? PayPal? Credit card? Forget that. The NAS is retro. Future money isn't accepted. To order, send $99.95 in the form of cash, check, or money order to Nintendo Answering System, P.O. Box I81B4U, Department N, Zyzex, California, 92309. Call the toll-free number on the screen for more information. Allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. Sorry, no CODs. The Nintendo Answering System. Now you're phoning with power. And now, on with the show. So what is Nintendo doing with a trademark for the word Nintendo? It's an interesting story, but before we go any further, there are a few things you need to be aware of regarding Japanese copyright law, and some of these are common sense things that actually apply worldwide. First, registering a trademark under Japanese law requires that the product or service in question is not already a common use word in the language. So, for example, the word sushi cannot be trademarked. It would be unfair to grant one party exclusive use of a term so ingrained into everyday life. However, a compound word such as kappa sushi or genki sushi is allowed, and those trademarks are registered and protected for use in regard to those respective properties. And as an aside, are two of my favorite places to eat. This means then that any other invented term can be trademarked. However, a corporation can't just go crazy and make up 100 million billion terms and trademark them all. The term has to be applied to some product or service that exists or plans to be put into use in the near future. It is possible to have a trademark expire or become revoked through neglect or misuse, as well as from a trademark term becoming genericized. For example, dry ice, aspirin, trampoline, kerosene, escalator, and even heroin all at one time were trademarks, that are now free to use thanks to their ubiquity in the language. Ditto for Japan. Home theater and pocket bell are just two examples of words once protected under trademark law that now aren't. Okay, enough backstory, you say. What's the deal with Nintendo? Was Nintendo about to become genericized? You know, playing that there Nintendo as a catch-all for any video game? They needed a backup plan? Let's take a look at the trademark to get this all figured out. The term Nintendo was first applied for on February 3rd, 2000, and was granted on November 17th that year. The trademark covers home video games, computer programs, toys, dolls, and a few more unusual categories like scientific instruments and pedometers. Strange. Why would they do that? Maybe it's from a game. I tried reading a bunch of books about Nintendo, but found nothing. So I did what any good scholarly gamer would do. Sit down and play every single Nintendo-made game in order until I found the answer. They actually didn't make so many games back then, so it didn't take long. Did you know Nintendo only made 48 family computer games and 50 Game Boy games? That's it! Thank the Lord for third parties, right? After months of playing, I found something. And it turns out that Nintendo does appear in 2 different games, both for the Game Boy, both made a long time ago, and both released only in Japan, as most games were way back when. In September 1992, Kairu no Tame ni Kane wa Naru was released for the Game Boy. In English, the title means The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls. It's a fun game that plays in the same style as Link's Awakening, or really any Zelda-ish game from that time. The game was developed by the R&D 1 group, who made most of the early Game Boy games, so it does have a strong Nintendo-y feel to it. A fan translation was made a few years back, so you can go and try it out for yourself. In the game, there are various items made by a corporation called Nintendo. That little in-joke was a nice touch, but it's not much more than a one-off in the game. But is this a trademark for that? No, because Nintendo, as well as all the characters, the plot, the music, and anything else in the cartridge were protected under copyright. There is a difference. Copyright protects original work, whereas a trademark protects items that distinguish or identify a particular business from another one. Copyright is generated automatically upon the creation of original work, whereas a trademark is established through continuous common use in the course of business. Even without registration, even before what you created goes on sale, all created works are granted some protections from day one. Trademarks are only issued after things are up and running. Copyrights expire, whereas a trademark doesn't expire, provided the mark continues to be used. Works made for hire, that is, made by a company, are protected for 95 years. Donkey Kong, Nintendo's first hit game, will have its copyright expire in 2076. However, as Nintendo has continued to stay in business since 1889, the trademark remains active, and will remain active for as long as they still operate, even if they lasted 500 more years. Do you remember how in the past I dug up the trademark for Mega Drive in America and found it strange that it was issued in 1991, not 1988? Well, that's because trademarks must be, in a sense, earned. That trademark was eventually revoked when the company merged with another and the Mega Drive name stopped being used. With that in mind, it may have been possible for someone else to take the term Nintendo after seeing it in 1992 and run with it, though that never actually happened. And besides, this trademark was filed in the year 2000. Why wait 8 years to protect one word of dialogue in a game that was quickly in the rearview mirror? Let's move on to game number 2. Trade and Battle Card Hero for the Game Boy Color, released in February 2000, developed by Nintendo R&D 1, the same team that made The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls. The game delivers exactly what the title says: cards, battles, trading, and heroics. Battles are determined by the stats of the cards in your deck. If you played Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, or Dinosaur King, then you'll like Trade and Battle Card Hero. While this game has never been translated, it has a rich world that is worth exploring if you have the Japanese skill for it. But to keep things on topic, the cards used in the game are made by a fictional company called Nintendo. The company logo is a self-deprecating joke where the first of the 3 Japanese kanji characters in the company name has been changed to mean what, giving it the vibe of calling the in-game card maker what's-her-name, or something to that extent. Pretty clever. Okay, so they trademarked that name for the fictional card company in the game? That's only half the answer. Trade and Battle Card Hero was planned to be more than just a video game. Nintendo released real physical cards based on those from the game as well, thus making the fictional card company Nintendo into a somewhat real business enterprise. The trademark filing blocked the possibility of a copycat card maker to pop up and make Nintendo cards and get away with it. There are other multiple real-world examples like the Willy Wonka Candy Company or Los Pollos Hermanos restaurants, both of which were created from fictional works that became real-world properties. As for Trade and Battle Card Hero, the series moved on with a sequel, High Speed Card Battle, for the DS in 2007, which also stayed only in Japan. The mad scientist employee of Nintendo in The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls would appear in a few games later on, such as Dr. Mario 64, while other characters from that game appeared in a few Smash Bros. Installments, where you can also find the card dealer from Trade and Battle Card Hero, Maruo Maruhige, somewhat bringing the extended Nintendo family closer together. So, in the end, Nintendo, which started off as a throwaway in-game joke, ended up becoming a brand of sorts, with a special place in Nintendo's history, complete with a registered trademark. The weirdest meta-gaming story you'll ever hear, and won't find in any book.